Today, I'm going to be sharing with you all how to buy a home in Calgary. So I don't know about you, but I didn't really come from wealth or money, nor did I really know anyone in the real estate industry. And as a first-time home buyer, when I moved out to Calgary, I seriously had no clue where to start, who to contact, or how much it could potentially cost me. Like seriously, my idea of buying a home was no more than like seeing some random ugly bus stop bench with a big old face telling me to call them today to sell my house. Now, having gone through the home buying process and becoming a realtor myself, I'm here to tell you that the process is significantly easier than I expected. I'm going to break down the home buying process literally into 4 easy steps. So if you're interested in hearing more about it, all I ask if you could do me a quick favor, smash the like button, the subscribe button, or drop a comment down below. I'll do my best to respond to each and every one of them. I do see them, but anyhow, let's begin. Step number 1 is getting pre-approved for a mortgage. So before you start house hunting, it's important to know how much home you can actually afford. And it sounds sort of crazy, but I always recommend that you get mortgage approved as early as possible. The reason being is because many of us, including myself, would have this belief of looking at homes online like House Sigma or Realtor.ca and think, well, because my salary is this amount and I heard my friend SpongeBob, who's a bit of an airhead, was able to afford that house down the block, therefore I should be able to as well. You want to ideally work with a mortgage broker, and the advantage of working with one instead of like a traditional big bank is that they can shop around with multiple lenders to help you find better and more competitive rates. Another option, if you're not comfortable with that, is simply to go to your own personal bank, which probably would be a big bank if you're living in Canada. So those are like the RBCs, the CIBC, the Scotiabanks of the world, and set up an appointment to get mortgage pre-approved. From my own experience, I too was quite hesitant to choose a mortgage broker instead of like a traditional big bank or my own personal bank. And that's because I thought to myself that I'd rather keep everything in-house, like all together. But I will say that having now done it, I did get better rates going with a mortgage broker. So I'm very happy that I went with a broker instead of my own personal big bank. Once you are mortgage pre-approved, if they haven't already, you'll get like a pre-approval letter from say XYZ Bank saying that you are indeed pre-approved. And this typically will hold valid anywhere between 90 to 120 days, securing the rates that you see on that paper. But know that should rates actually drop even further from the time you actually go through with it, your lender will adjust accordingly. Step number 2 is pretty straightforward, and that's finding a realtor that you can trust. I actually made a video about this on how to find a real estate agent in Calgary. So if you want a further breakdown on how to best vet one and questions you should ask when working with one, go ahead and check that video. So let's assume that no one referred you to an agent. What you can simply do is go online using Google and search for a local realtor within your city and send them a message that you are interested in buying a home. You can reach out to them on their official website or even as casual as direct messaging them on Instagram. It's pretty much just whatever you are most comfortable with. And then they'll set up a call with you to better understand your situation. And I always tell my clients or just people in general that I always recommend that you speak to 2 or 3 different realtors before you choose to work with one. The key here really is just working with someone that you can trust and that you feel comfortable asking the most ridiculous questions. Also, when working with a buyer agent, you typically actually don't pay the realtor directly, as sellers, as in the home you are purchasing, pays for the full commission between their seller agent and your buyer agent, which in Calgary per party is 3.5% on the first 100,000 and 1.5% on the remaining purchase price. All of this will be documented on a buyer representation agreement, which essentially is a contract between yourself and a realtor to say that you are working together and that your realtor will be representing you in good faith, be professional, blah, 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 blah. And here's how much they'll get paid essentially. One piece of advice that I want to share with you that's important is that you should not feel pressured at all to sign a long-term contract with your agent if you're not ready. Like I've heard the most outrageous stories when a realtor would get their client to sign like a 9-month contract. Just know that it can seriously be as short as 1 week, 2 weeks, even like a few days if you really wanted. Step number 3 is house hunting and writing an offer, which is when all the fun stuff and exciting stuff happens, because you finally get to actually see potentially your future dream house. So your agent will set you up with our internal real estate platform called Pillar 9/Matrix, which is essentially our MLS system used in Calgary. This platform is useful to monitor new listings, track the status of properties, basically whether they're active, pending, or sold. When you see a property that you're interested in, you would coordinate with your realtor to schedule a private showing to go view the property. Know that it's quite important to actually see the place you're purchasing in person, as images and videos always look better than they actually are. You can sort of think of this as like Instagram, where there may be people that may look significantly better on the platform, but in real life you're like, okay, you know what I mean. I don't want to get canceled. All right, moving forward, let's assume you found a home that you're interested in and you actually want to write an offer down on this property. What will happen next is your realtor should do what's known as a comparable market analysis, a CMA, which essentially compares similar properties that have recently sold or are currently listed. This is so that when you actually write down an offer, so like how much you're purchasing it for, you won't feel, how should I say it? You won't feel like you're getting ripped off. Just know also that should your offer get accepted, typically you'll need to put down a deposit down, which usually is around 5% of the purchase price. So make sure you have that amount readily available in your bank account. And lastly, don't feel discouraged if your first offer that you put on a home doesn't get accepted. I'd rather you focus more on the price point that you are comfortable with and trust that the right home will come to you. Finally, we have step number 4, which is closing and the associated cost that goes along with it. So congratulations, your offer got accepted and you protected yourself by putting in a home inspection condition, for example. A home inspection in Calgary can range anywhere between $500 to $1,000 depending on the size and complexity of the home. Inspectors will identify things that may be reaching the end of their life or need replacement. So things like the roofing, electrical system, water tank, the furnace. If you're buying a condo or apartment, you may want to opt into this thing known as a condo document review, which is essentially a third-party consultant that reviews the condo corporation financials, reserve funds, bylaws, and meeting minutes. And then from there, they'll flag any upcoming costly projects, special assessments, or poor financial health. And the cost of doing this is typically around $400 to $600 on average. Next up are lawyer fees, which are a must. This generally range from $1,600 to $2,500 in Calgary, and your real estate lawyer will ensure all legal documents are in order, manage the title transfer, and make sure funds are properly released on possession day. One big bonus I always mention to clients coming from out of province is that Alberta, thankfully, has no land transfer tax. Last thing I want to mention, don't forget to budget for closing adjustments like property tax proration, home insurance, and utility hookup fees. So to simplify things, for an average condo/apartment in Calgary, even from my current place, like my closing costs were no more than like $5,000. But yeah, let's just assume everything all went great. I'll just have to say congratulations on purchasing your first home out in Calgary. On the actual possession day, like the day you actually get your keys and all that stuff, you should expect a nice gift from your realtor. And if they don't, you call them cheap, and you never recommend them ever again. All right, so there you guys have it, a quick breakdown of how to buy a home in Calgary. Of course, there are many more details that I could have gone into, but I really want to just highlight the big steps without overwhelming you. If there is one thing I really want you to take away from this video, it's the importance of getting pre-approved as step number 1. Everything else, like finding a realtor, writing an offer, handling closing costs, comes later on. Also, remember that the buying process often moves faster than most people expect. Make sure you move at your own pace, especially when it comes to the purchase price. And at the end of the day, you are the one making these mortgage payments, these like thousands of dollars, not your realtor. So make sure you actually truly are comfortable with the numbers, because who's gonna be paying for all of it? You. But anyhow, if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. It really means a lot to me. If you have any sort of questions, let me know in the comment section down below. If you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button or follow me on Instagram. And I guess I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace.